everyone, welcome to Tarish TV, where we bring you information from around the world. Please, we would like you to subscribe to this channel. So if you are yet to subscribe,
Alright
please
guys,
don't forget to click
welcome
the bell
back to your
icon
channel,
so that you can get
Everyday
notification
Affairs, where we bring you trending news. I welcome you on board this time around. Alright, Bishop David Oyedepo explodes in this new video, saying there is no vaccine for hunger. There is no vaccine for hunger. There is no medical solution for hunger. And he also says that hunger has no treatment than to have food. And spiritual famine is far more devastating, he said in this new video. All right, guys, the issue that led to Bishop Oyedepo exploding in this video is still the issue of the lockdown and the closure of churches. Be that as it may, you know that the federal government has, refused to lift the ban on the social gathering, religious gatherings and all that. So this has not sat down well with some church leaders, especially the likes of Bishop David Oyedepo, Pastor Chris Oyakilome, and some other pastors who have actually spoken out and spoken vocally against the continuous lockdown of the church. Bishop David Oyedepo said that if you can open the market for 6 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, what have you, then the church only needs 2 hours, and you cannot open the church. Well, guys, listen to the video and listen to him yourself and what has he declared.
The doors to churches across nations is again declared open this morning. Can I tell you this? Hunger is far more devastating than virus. Hunger is far more devastating than any virus that will ever visit the earth. Hunger. One man had not eaten for 3 days. His spirit was gone. 1 Samuel 30, verse 11 and 12. They met an Egyptian who was sick and they left him behind. Gave him some food. The food finished, so he had not eaten for 3 days. They gave him bread and water. Then his spirit revived. It kills silently. There is no vaccine for hunger. There is no medical solution to hunger. Now we are doing vaccine and all that stuff. You can handle that with virus and plague, but no hunger. Hunger has no treatment than to have food. And spiritual famine is far more devastating. He said they shall fall and never rise. Come on now. That's what the devil is looking for. But he has failed. He has failed. The church is back on his feet. Anyone who were to see that dies for it. The church of Christ on the earth is liberated. Spiritual famine shall not have its way. Can I tell the world at this time, no one has the answer to a problem like Jesus. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, no matter your situation, and I will give you rest.
Alright guys, having watched the video, you can hear from yourself, I beg your pardon, how the bishop has exploded, saying that the church is back on its feet, that the church, will be open, that the church cannot be locked down and the church cannot be trampled upon. Well, this is how he has exploded, and he's spoken against the continued lockdown of the church. Despite the compulsory ban of religious and social activities due to the coronavirus pandemic, Bishop David Oyedepo, the senior pastor of the Living Faith Church, has declared the reopening of all churches nationwide. The famous clergyman who earlier called out the federal government of Nigeria for allowing markets to open while keeping churches shut down has this morning declared that churches are now open and that anyone who is against this will die for it. Speaking at the church's headquarters in Ota, Ogun State, Oyedepo declared, the doors to churches across nations are again declared opened this morning. Can I tell you this? He asked. Hunger is far more devastating than any virus that will ever visit the earth. It kills silently. There is no vaccine for hunger. There is no medical solution to hunger. Hunger has no treatment than to have food, and spiritual famine is far more devastating. That is what the devil is looking for, but he has failed. The church is back on its feet. Anyone who hates to see that dies for it, he said. The church of Christ on the earth is liberated. Spiritual famine shall not have its way. Can I tell the world? No one has the answer to a problem like Jesus, he said. All right, guys, having watched the video and you've heard for yourself, what are your thoughts concerning this particular news story? The bishop has declared the churches open across nations of the earth and has said that no power can stop the church from opening. And it says that anyone that stands against it dies for it. So guys, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you think concerning this particular news story? How do you see this particular reaction of the bishop on this particular issue? Well, it is what it is. Pastors want the churches to open because they believe that churches are where people seek spiritual help and spiritual healing. So where they cannot even get outside the church or in hospitals. But in some quarters, it has been looked at from a different perspective, while some are saying that they are businessmen and they are missing their customers. Then some are even saying, just bear in mind, you are not above the law. Esther Ifoma is saying here. Another person, Eyin Naya Nkem Abonta, is saying that, has he now also become the general overseer of all churches? The man is megalomaniac. And how does the closure of churches cause hunger to increase? Can you see the specious reasoning there? The con man's sophistry. The closure of churches certainly will bite deeply into Mr. Oyedepo's extremely deep pockets. Well, I think there's a misconception in this part. He probably was not referring to physical hunger, as it were, but the spiritual hunger where people need to feed on the word of God. That, I think, is what the bishop is actually referring to when he meant hunger, or when he talked about hunger. Well, I stand to be corrected though, but that is my own understanding to what he says. Everybody has a right to, his own or her own opinion. But be that as it were, spiritual hunger, cannot be satisfied outside God. It is God who actually, feeds the soul of every man, and every soul needs to be fed. If the soul of a man is not fed the food it deserves, then it is open for the devil to actually, jump on, and the soul will feed on whatever is given to it if it does not get the required diet or food that the soul needs at a particular point in time. So probably that is what I think the bishop is talking about in this regard of hunger, not the physical hunger or the physical food that people are referring to. So what are your thoughts, guys, on this particular news story? Do you think the pastor has gone overboard? Do you think he is just actually reacting based on the fact that, he feels that the church can cope with the issue of the pandemic even without the lockdown? Or do you think that he's saying or interpreting that while other places are locked down, the church does not need to be locked down? Well, guys, it's what it is. Kindly drop by at the comment section. Let's know what your thoughts are on this particular news story. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, please do hit the bell icon so you can get notification whenever we post new stories. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you on the other news. Thank you and bye for now.